You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and this is, I believe, pretty much the first episode where all of us are in studio again, in person.
False.
Mm-hmm. All aside from the Halloween game, but this is like the first regular episode.
That's true.
Where we're all together again.
True.
So Matt, you're here. You get first introduction this time. You don't know what the weather is like in LA right now because you're here in the rain.
That's not true. The weather is always 75 and sunny, so I do know what the weather is. But it's very cold here. My thick Chicago skin has weakened a little bit in the last couple of years, and I am freezing.
We can hear your allergies coming back a little bit now that you're back in the Midwest.
No, it's my Midwest accent.
Oh, is it?
It's
Okay.
back.
Jeff, how are you?
It just sounds like you have a cold always.
Yeah, nonstop cold.
I'm great, except for the rain. Like, give me 50s. I'm wearing shorts. It's lovely out.
Awesome. Well, I know you're a big Missy Elliott fan, so
That's right.
You're really happy right now. Ken, you finally saw Dune.
I saw Dune, finally.
And did you enjoy it?
I loved it. But something else has grabbed my attention this week. And that is because, and this might be a nice segue into one of our guests here, but I was in the rock climbing gym because I took up rock climbing recently. And I'm in the locker room grabbing my stuff. And behind my shoulder, I hear the gentle voice of Dutch Boy lilting through the air. There's a man behind me who sounds exactly like Dutch Boy.
Could it have been Dutch Boy?
It might have been Dutch Boy.
Now, how long?
He was taller than I thought, though.
How long have you been climbing up Dwayne Johnson?
What?
You said you're rock climbing.
Well, he's what, 6'4"?
6'5", yeah, something like that.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you got to belay in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before we actually introduce that guest, I just had a quick question. Jeff was telling me that in order to understand Dune, when you want to see the movie, as long as I've seen the movie Spice World, I'll be okay. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it all takes place in the Spice World universe.
Okay, so you have Posh and Baby. All of them are there.
Right.
Okay, great. That's all I needed to know. All right, well, let's introduce our guest. Our first guest is going to be hosting today's game. She's coming to us from Germany, but she's originally from Tallahassee, Florida. And she's also joined by what I think we're going to call the true Deutsch boy, her husband, Matthias, and that is Laura Cilek. How are you, Laura?
Hello, I'm good.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who your special guest is there, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Laura. I actually am just recently new in Germany. For the last few months I've been here. Before that, I was in Spain and in Madrid, actually. So I know that I am responsible for some of your Madrid listeners listening to your podcast. I did my best to spread the word, including one who I know was a co-host before. So, and yeah, so that's about me. I like to play trivia, but I don't often host it. So this will be fun. Hopefully also for y'all.
A little y'all coming in.
Yeah, Matthias is just going to be listening in today. He's not an official guest, but he's there on our camera. But nice to meet you as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And just real quick, what do you think of Dutch Boy? Does he represent a little more Germany than Deutschland or than the Netherlands, or no?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I know this goes out to many people. I don't want to answer that.
But speaking of like planting the triviality seed everywhere, I know my friend in Japan, Natsuki, and her boyfriend have been listening. So if we see little Japanese clusters, that's where it came from.
That's great. We're going global. Matt, you said we're in like some countries where only one person listens.
Yeah, I think Romania, we just have one. Transylvania, very popular this time of year.
Well, Dracula is up in the middle of the night, so he's got to listen to something.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And it's his busy season.
It is Dracula's busy season. And speaking of that, you are our special guest, and that is Joel Mount. He's an Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, coming to us from Edison, New Jersey. How are you, Joel?
I'm very good, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We know that you're a host professionally, and what else are you up to over there?
Well, I host part-time. I've been doing that for about 2 months at a couple of different bars in the Edison area. And I also work for a company that manufactures hearing aids, which we sell to medical professionals, doctors, hospitals. I have 2 grown daughters about your ages and a 2-year-old grandson.
Well, we hope not to disappoint you today with this game then, because you've probably you dealt with people our age before, but we're hoping to make you proud today, Joel. So
I don't want to have to put any of you over my name.
That sounds good.
We're not that kind of podcast, so it's okay.
Yeah. Is that the wager today? Like the losing team goes over Joel's knee? Okay.
Absolutely
We'll
not.
all get a good spanking. Yeah, spank us.
I'll make sure to send Joel. What's that bat called that the fraternities hit each other with?
Paddle.
The paddle. You got a Dutch boy paddle.
I want the one with the holes that Ben Affleck had.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Cut down on wind resistance.
From Dazed and Confused, yeah. Well, thank you both for joining us today. As we said, Laura is going to be hosting, and Joel is going to be partnering with Matt today because he asked for some extra sports knowledge if possible. So Matt and Joel are going to be partnering, and they're going to be going up against me and Ken.
All right, let's get the rules from that guy I met in the gym.
De regels van het spel zijn simpel. 20 vragen verdeeld over 2 rondes, waarbij elke vraag 10 punten waard is. Halverwege is er een speciale swingronde, ontworpen door de host van deze week. Na deze rondes beginnen de spelers aan de finale, met de punten die ze hebben verdiend. En hebben ze de mogelijkheid om 0 tot 30 punten in te zetten op 5 gecategoriseerde vragen. Aan het eind van het spel wordt iemand benoemd tot the cream of the crop.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
So Matt and Joel, any ideas on a team name?
Well, I figure, we got Joel Mount. He hosts trivia in a bar. I had some wine last night. I think we'll be Mount Lushmore.
Mount Lushmore.
I like it.
All right, Jeff. So Jeff is actually going to be scorekeeping today. So Mount Lushmore.
That is correct.
And let's give Jeff a mouthful because he doesn't scorekeep that often.
All right, so we want a mouthful, and I've been rock climbing, so how about hip hip belay?
All right, what's a belay, by the way?
It's when you hold somebody by the rope so they don't fall to their death.
And Jeff, we need you to say it with gusto every single time.
Hip hip belay.
I like that.
I wish I had a belay every day.
Here we go. All right, let's start this game before Neal gets out of control with his rhyming schemes.
Okay, so I guess I'll take it away. A little bit of background information or surprise information. Today is a themed trivia round. I really like Shakira and Piqué, the singer and the world-class soccer player. So today's entire game is about Shakira and Piqué. So
Okay.
So here we go then. Shakira and Piqué trivia. Question 1. Piqué is part owner of a soccer team in which country, which is also the home to the highest capital in Europe?
Now, when you say highest, are we talking about elevation or like
Elevation.
Or like
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the right path.
All right. I think Neal and I have come to a consensus here. Not confident though.
All right, Joel. What do you think about something in potentially Norway or something mountainous?
Well, yeah, I was thinking mountains. I know there's the Ural Mountains. You've got the Swiss Alps.
Ooh, Swiss Alps. So let's do Switzerland.
Yep, we agreed with that answer, and we thought the capital was Zurich, but that's beside the case. And we also said Switzerland.
Okay, well, you guys were on the right track with mountainous and looking for countries with mountain. Bern is the capital of Switzerland, but unfortunately, another very mountainous country in Europe is Andorra, which actually shares a border with Spain. And Andorra de la Vella is the capital of Andorra, which is the highest capital in Europe.
It is in the Pyrenees, right?
Okay.
It is fully there in the Pyrenees.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, question 2. Shakira's father is Lebanese. Her mother's heritage is from both of the top 2 olive oil producing countries in 2019 and 2020. So what are the top 5 virgin olive oil producing countries according to the International Olive Council? And so you can get 2 points for each, and then if you get all 5, that would be a bonus.
How do you get on this council? It sounds fun.
It sounds really fun. I wish I knew.
Okay, we wrote down 5 countries we think could be the answer. I don't like olives, but I love olive oil, so we're hoping that is going to help us.
It shouldn't.
It probably won't.
All right, Joel. So I think we're probably going to be in agreement. We're looking at something Mediterranean, so probably Greece number 1, right?
I was thinking Italy, Greece, and Spain.
I like that.
Three of those. But I thought Shakira was like Brazilian or Colombian or
She
something.
She is Colombian. I like adding Colombia to that, and maybe something else South American. Maybe Argentina.
Sounds good. I'm not going to argue.
If I get this wrong, my girlfriend's going to be very mad at me because she loves Shakira.
You know who else loves
I won't cry for you, Argentina.
You know who loves Shakira is Wyclef Jean, because he's the only person in the world allowed to call her by her name twice.
Oh, that is true.
That's a really deep joke. Sorry. Okay, so Ken and I locked in. Thank you. Ken and I locked in with Italy, Greece, Spain, Morocco, and we thought, you know what? Maybe the U.S. is a big supplier as well. So we said USA.
Okay, well, you guys both had the right opportunity with the Mediterranean. And when I said Shakira's mother, that was a hint. I said her heritage. So her heritage is actually Italian and Spanish, which means the top 5 in the world are in order. Number 1, Spain. Number 2, Italy. Number 3, Tunisia. So another Mediterranean, but maybe not what you'd expect. Number 4, Greece, and number 5, Turkey.
All right, we'll take 6 points on that one.
So, yep, 3 for each. It's not bad.
Yeah, don't feel terrible after that result.
All right. The next one, as stated, Shakira's father is from Lebanon. And the last question. So, technically speaking, Lebanon is the only country in the Middle East without which type of geographic feature?
All right, this might be too simple an answer, but we're locking in.
Well, my first thought is like land, without a coastline, an ocean coastline. I don't know if there are any that are landlocked besides that. I don't know if it is landlocked.
Yeah. It said in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Middle East,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that Iraq is landlocked, but I might be wrong there. Or one of those in the Middle East. I said maybe it doesn't have a desert or...
Desert. Yeah, possibly.
Or river or something. Oil rig. I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't be geographic feature.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Wrong answer.
But I could go with the desert also.
Okay. No dessert in Lebanon. Yeah. I think I like that. Let's lock in with the desert.
To make you feel good, Matt, you are correct. Iraq is landlocked.
Hey.
And so is Afghanistan. So.
Nailed it.
And we too said desert, though we do believe they have baklava there, so they do have dessert.
So, good news, there is dessert in Lebanon, but there's no desert.
Wow.
Hey, we did it.
All right.
And Lebanon borders the Mediterranean Sea as well, so there is a coastline there. But yeah, no desert in Lebanon. Okay, next one. And now I think from what you guys were speaking about before, here comes the dreaded sports question.
Can't wait.
Or maybe one of many. I don't remember.
We need on our soundboard like that dun dun dun.
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Here we go. It is Shakira and Piqué after all. So they were rivals for years in La Liga. But on which team did Piqué and Ronaldo play together?
So Neal wrote down the only thing that I knew how to say regarding this question, so we're going to lock in with it. Basically, the first half of her questions are like a different language to me, and then she gets to the question bit, and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is a very Jeff game. Are you feeling anxious here that you're not getting to answer these questions, Jeff?
No, I would be doing about as well as you guys, so I'm feeling pretty good over here.
And let's kick it over to the person who has just as nice hair as Ronaldo, Matt.
Nice pass, Neil.
Yes, setting me up. I was offside, so we have to take it back. Joel, what do you know about La Liga?
I know it's football, and it's Spanish for the league.
So we're on our way.
I'm thinking. I thought Cristiano Ronaldo played for Barcelona, but I'm not sure. I mean, this is really a Matt question.
Yeah, Barcelona is a really good guess. The other big one. I mean, Ronaldo is one of the greatest players of all time, and I'm sure he.
Well, I've seen commercials.
He was.
I've been locked out of his hotel room a couple times.
Yeah. And I'm sure he was paid an exorbitant amount. So I'm guessing it's one of the big teams. So Barcelona or Real Madrid or Faux Madrid. Those are probably the three that I would be looking at. But I like Barcelona. So if you're cool with it, we can lock in with Barcelona.
I'm cool with it.
All right, locked in.
And we locked in with Real Madrid.
Oh, you guys. I have to say they were rivals in La Liga, but they actually played on the same team in a whole nother league. They played on the same team in the Premier League. They played together on Manchester United.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next question. A little bit more football here. Piqué isn't a big fan of Parc des Princes or Parc des Princes. I'm not good at French. And that is the home of Paris Saint-Germain, the soccer club from Paris. And he's probably not a big fan there because he's probably very jealous that Messi and Neymar are friends, who both play soccer there. I should explain why this is maybe funny to some people, that they both play, they both are former teammates of Piqué in Barcelona, but now they play together on a different team that Piqué does not play on. But anyways, that aside, I assume Piqué would like this park, which is the easternmost national park in the United States.
All right, I have an inkling on this one. Let's go ahead and lock in.
All right, Joel, you're from the East Coast. Tell me about some parks.
Well, my first thought is Acadia National Park in Maine.
Okay.
Which is pretty east.
I think you said Acadia, right? Is that what it's called?
That's my best guess that I can think of.
Okay.
But now, does Key West, does that jut out to the...
No, I think Maine is as far, because I was looking at like furthest flights in the country, and I know that most of them end in Maine, so I think that's as far east as it goes. So yeah, we'll lock in with Acadia National Park.
And we're going to say Everglades because we know Laura is originally from Florida. Little game theory.
Well, I am originally from Florida, but I have not been to the Everglades. I have been to Acadia, and I have watched the sunrise there at about 5 a.m., which I think someone might have been hinting to. One of y'all might have been hinting to. So actually, the answer is Acadia.
Wow.
All right, 5 questions in, and points are looking good so far, but we'll see what happens in the rest of the game here. We've got hip hip Bolay. Does that make you happy, Matt?
Thank you for your enthusiasm.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome. With 16 points, but Mount Lushmore in the lead with 26.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. Next question. Shakira is the youngest of 8 siblings. V8 is a tomato-based vegetable juice commonly used in drinks like Bloody Marys. Before she was known as Bloody Mary, she was just the oldest child of who?
No, there's 2 of...
But there's only one.
There's only one of that.
Go with that, though.
It was a Bond girl. Okay, we're going to lock in with that, then, I guess.
Halle Berry.
Diana Rigg?
Yeah. All right, Joel, you're going to have to carry this one. I don't know anything about the monarchy.
She is the eldest daughter of Henry VIII.
Okay.
And because she was so actively Catholic, remember there was the whole issue of Catholic versus Protestants.
totally.
I'm thinking her mother, and because she's the eldest, obviously, her mother's probably his first wife, which I think was Catherine of Aragon.
Okay. We're locking in with what Joel said.
Catherine of Aragon is definitely the first wife, which I think is the correct answer. We said Henry VIII, and we said the future Bond girl, Jane Seymour.
All right. Well, you guys were correct with Henry VIII, but she was, as Joel said, she was the oldest child, which means she probably was the daughter of the oldest wife, Catherine of Aragon. So
All right.
Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon.
Did the best I could. All I knew was that he got a child out of Jane, and she died in childbirth.
Are we giving
That's all I
5
know.
points to Hip Hip Bolet?
Are you being merciful and giving 5 points?
I mean, it's Bloody Mary.
So no, got it.
No mercy.
No, you can have it. You can have them. Yeah.
All right, let me update the score here.
If you're in New York City by any chance, a good friend of ours, of mine back in high school too, is the musical director of Six on Broadway, Roberta Duchek.
Wow.
So go check it out.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, and next question. Piqué, again, is not the only world-class athlete from Catalonia. Kilian Jornet is arguably one of the best athletes ever to participate in which sport? And as both a hint and a bit of leeway here, I'm going to give you guys some freedom and the specific sport that you give.
All right, Ken and I went back and forth, and we really have no idea on this question, but we feel like we're kind of in the right realm, so we're just going to lock in with a guess.
What can you think of that where you might excel in? Maybe something like extreme sports?
Well, I was thinking track and field,
Ooh,
but
that
like you have so many events in that.
Yeah, because that could be maybe he did hurdles and you know the 100-meter and shot put. I'm just naming things now. I'm good with track and field. If you wanna, if we need to be more specific, maybe we can do that like running or something. But
Right.
Okay, so Ken and I had a discussion. He had mentioned maybe rowing. He thought it had something to do with water. I thought rowing was like a little too specific. And I picked up on the hint about field as well. So I'm gonna move away from what Ken said, which normally I let him do it and do the answer. But I'm gonna say something. This is very vague, but like a triathlon, like different types of running or whatever that event is, where they do like the jumping and the running, and I think it's or pentathlon. I don't know, but that's my answer. If that makes any sense.
Well, I think I gave an unintentional clue there, which was not really a clue. He is one of the, I guess if you had thought of the lines of Catalonia is in the Pyrenees, it has parts in the Pyrenees, very mountainous. He is one of the arguably best trail running racers, ultra marathon in the mountains. Also in the winter, he does skimo, which is this kind of crazy hybrid sport where you're doing cross country and climbing up and down mountains on skis.
That sounds horrible.
So he makes really cool pictures and videos. He's one of these people, you don't want to be him, but you like to look at the stuff he does. He's really cool. Okay, next question. Hopefully this one's a little bit more in y'all's wheelhouse. So Steven Spielberg offered Shakira the lead part in his film The Mask of Zorro in 1998. However, she said that she felt unable to accept it because she believed her English wasn't good enough. So who did the role go to instead?
We can lock in over here.
What do you know about the Antonio Banderas project Zorro?
I believe that the leading lady in that was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I also believe that.
Also one of the leading ladies in Threat Level Midnight.
And Chicago.
One of those is a real thing. We can lock in with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
We also locked in with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Very good. Points all around there.
I like that. Everyone just knows it. We all get points and we move on.
Another fun fact is Michael Jackson begged Steven Spielberg to let him be Peter Pan, and he said no.
Repeatedly?
For Hook, yeah.
Okay, next one. Did you know that Shakira is an avid painter? because neither did I. But I read a lot about Shakira when I was writing this quiz. And apparently she likes to paint this type of food specifically, which comes in Spain as part of a famous broken tapa or racione, in Korea on top of bibimbap, or in a few other countries in the basket. What is this breakfast food? And please be specific.
All right, we are locked in. And I assume when she paints, she just attaches the paintbrushes to her hips.
And then just...
and gyrates.
Yeah.
They don't lie.
I don't think they paint either.
Yeah.
All right, we're locked in.
When she said Korean bibimbap, or however you pronounce that, it tastes better than I spell it. I believe I thought there was like a fried egg on top of that.
Mm.
And that would be a breakfast food.
Yeah, and you can put all your eggs in one basket, which we'll do with this answer and say eggs.
Yep, we too said fried eggs.
And great job, fried eggs.
Wow. Good call, Ken. Very good.
So,
and Joel. Right on the money.
Next one. This is the last one for the round, I believe. I hope, because this is the last one I have for the round.
It is. Good job. You counted correctly.
Okay, fantastic. Piqué is a proud Catalan, and he was an outspoken supporter of the 2017 independence referendum there. Nonetheless, Catalonia is still part of Spain, and Spain is one of 12 sovereign monarchies in Europe, of which 7 are kingdoms and 3 are principalities. Name me 5 of the kingdoms and 1 principality. And then there's 3 missing, if you noticed in the, I can't do math, 2 other countries there. And if you can give me one of them, then you can get a bonus point, and what type it is.
Oh, this one would, right?
He always guesses this. That's why I was waiting for him to guess it.
There's a famous princess from there, but
there's
got to be a prince.
I figured Neal would have to get that one.
He wrote Genovia, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God.
After quite a bit of back and forth, we are ready to lock in.
So, yeah, we discussed a few different countries, a couple that we thought might have been in the communist bloc. So they were not a part of it. But which ones are we locking in with, Joel?
Spain, United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, and the Principality of Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the bonus?
And then Luxembourg we're going to try.
Okay. Yep, we know Luxembourg has a Grand Duke, so for the bonus 2 points, we're saying that's a dukedom.
I believe it's a duchy.
Or a duchy. We're going with the UK, Sweden, Czechia, Poland, and Spain for the kingdoms, and Monaco for the principality.
Okay, so these 7 kingdoms are Spain, as in the question, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, the UK, and the Netherlands. And Belgium is the last one.
Okay.
And the principalities are Andorra, Liechtenstein, and Monaco. Lastly, there is the Luxembourg, which is the Grand Duchy, and the Vatican City is a theocratic elective monarchy.
Yep. Okay.
I was thinking about the Holy See. I was like, I think that might be one of them.
You're always thinking about the Holy See.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 8 points for us, and I think you guys got full marks, right?
That is correct.
All right, and after the first round, we're looking at scores for Hip Hip Bolay at 51 and an even 70 for Mount Lushmore. So thank you for getting points that bring it back to an even 10 for me.
All right. Well, today's swing round is all about numbers. And so the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask you a question. The answer is a number. If you guys get the same answer, that is the correct answer, then you both get points. If you get the same answer and it's the wrong answer, no one gets points. If you get different answers and neither is the correct answer, then the team with the closest answer gets the points.
Okay.
And this is not Price is Right rules, so it's just the closest answer.
Okay.
So question number 1, how many World Cups have there been? Question number 2, Piqué, in English we pronounce it peak, or we might spell it P-E-A-K, of mountains, Mount Elbrus is the highest mountain in Europe. How tall is it?
Let's do it. Let's do it in meters.
Okay,
guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Number 3. What is the age of Piqué minus the age of Shakira? Number 4. If Shakira hadn't become a world-famous multi-platinum album-selling dynamo, who also does a bunch of charity work because she's just the best, she would have either become a psychologist or astronaut. Valentina Tereshkova from the USSR was the first woman to travel to space in which year? Number 5. What is the number of Grand Slams won by Nadal plus the number of Grand Slams won by Serena Williams? Number 6. Shakira is the youngest of 8 siblings. If you add up the letters to spell the vegetables and V8 that we talked about earlier, how many is that? And this is not plural. So for example, banana would be 6 instead of bananas. Number 7, as of this week, Piqué shares the highest number of Champions League goals ever for a defender, along with Roberto Carlos. He surpassed Sergio Ramos to rise to number 1. How many goals in the Champions League does he have? Number 8. What is the number of autonomous communities in Spain, which is basically like the states, plus the number of EU countries? Number 9. Shakira comes from Colombia. Colombia borders Panama. In what year was the Panama Canal completed? And finally, what is the population of Bogota minus the population of Barcelona?
Okay, we'll be right back with the answers.
Oh boy.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become? Senwa Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
And we are back with our number guesses. Let's get the questions one more time, and we'll see who gets points.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, how many World Cups have there been?
I think it's been going on for about 100 years, every 4 years. And we said 21.
Yeah, I think I recall that it started in the 30s or 40s, and they do them every 4 years. There might have been a couple skipped for World Wars, and potentially they did one for COVID. So we ended up locking in with 20.
All right, you guys are both all right. The first one was in 1930. There have been a few skips here and there. So the number right now of World Cups that have been held is 21.
Wow, Neil, impressive.
Me, I guess.
Ken said 25, and I was like, I think it's lower.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Okay, number 2. Piqué, peak in English, peak of mountains. Mount Elbrus is the highest mountain in Europe. How tall is it?
Ken isn't like a huge Harry Potter fan, but he thought maybe that Albus Dumbledore, for some reason, has to do with 2,000 kilometers. That's what we locked in with.
No, not 2,000 kilometers.
Is that what you said? 2,000 meters?
Meters.
Okay. I don't know the metric system, so yeah, 2,000 meters.
Well, yeah, we thought it would be about 5,200 meters.
Very close. The height is 5,642 meters. Okay, next question. What is the age of Piqué minus the age of Shakira?
This one, we only kind of knew Shakira's age. We know she's between 43 and 45. We couldn't know an exact number. And we don't know how old Piqué is, but we said maybe he's slightly older than her. Maybe he's retired from football or something. And we thought it would be fun to have a negative answer. So we said -5.
Interesting. I hadn't even considered that. We knew Shakira was somewhere in the mid-40s, and I was like, I don't know how old Piqué is at all. We thought maybe he's an old man, so he said 8.
Well, the negative number was correct. Piqué is not that old. He's not retired from soccer, which is how he scored that Champions League goal last week.
Oh, yeah.
But he is 34 and she is 44. So the answer is -10. If Shakira hadn't become a world famous multi-platinum album selling dynamo, who also does a bunch of charity work because she's just wonderful, she would have become either a psychologist or an astronaut. Valentina Tereshkova from the USSR was the first woman to travel into space in which year?
We said 1958.
We know the U.S. did it in 1980s with the first woman. We figured the Soviet Union was usually ahead of us as far as promoting women. So we just said 1976.
Okay, the year is actually 1963.
Ooh.
Yeah, quite early in the overall scheme of things. She went into space and orbited the Earth 48 times. Number 5. This one is the number of Grand Slams won by Nadal plus the number of Grand Slams won by Serena Williams.
We added it up to 43, and just for since we weren't sure, we just rounded back down to 42 because it's a better number.
Okay. Yeah, we figured they were both probably somewhere around 20, but we ended up rounding down a little bit. We went with 39.
Well, interesting, because while 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything, 43 is the answer to this question.
We still got points.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But you get points, yeah. You get points. Okay, next one. Shakira is the youngest of 8 siblings. And if you add up the letters to spell the vegetables that Campbell says is in V8, how many letters is this?
Allegedly.
And I did not say it was true. I said they say.
We said 50. We only got half the ingredients, and then we extrapolated the answer.
Yeah, we did the same. We had tomato, onion, celery, carrot, which is 23, and we just multiplied by that by 2, but we actually went down a couple and said 44.
And the number is 53.
Ooh.
We are getting crushed.
Yeah, we went the wrong way.
Much like the tomatoes.
Tomato in this case. So, okay, next question. As of this week, Piqué shares the highest number of Champions League goals ever for a defender in the Champions League. How many goals does Piqué have in the Champions League?
I had no frame of reference on this, so I had Neal give me a number.
So I mistakenly thought of the Premier League, which I think the highest goal numbers of all time is like 215, 220, something in that range. And I didn't really know anything about the Champions League. And so my thought process was maybe it's less goals, but Jeff was saying afterwards, well, maybe they're just better defended in the Premier League and there could be more goals. But anyway, we said 175 as a guess.
I think when you're looking for a defenseman, it's going to be a lot less because I think that's what they're looking for. We said 63. I'm not sure. I don't think defensemen are doing a lot of sniping from the back line.
Yeah, you are correct. The defenders are not generally the ones up front scoring the goals. Normally, this might come in on a corner kick or like a penalty or something like this. And the Champions League is also fewer games normally for any given player. And so we're looking at a much smaller number, actually. He is tied with Roberto Carlos for 16 goals in the Champions League.
I did not hear defender, so that would have helped.
All right, technically closer.
Oh.
Yeah, my original answer would have been very close.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. The number of autonomous communities in Spain, which are like states, plus the number of EU countries.
I just threw down a 32.
We figured 11 EU countries, and we just said 16 total.
Okay, so the reason I added in the autonomous communities of Spain into this question is because I thought you guys would know how many countries there were in the EU, and I apologize for that. I thought it would be too easy. There's 27 countries in the EU, and there's, which last year was more, but now the UK is left, and 17 autonomous communities plus 2 autonomous cities in Spain, and this case, which for a total of 46. In this case, it doesn't matter. I think if it's 45 44 or 46 because one team is closer than the other. Next one, we're almost done with this painful round. Shakira comes from Colombia. Colombia borders Panama. In what year was the Panama Canal completed?
We had it at 1908.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
Yes.
Cubs won the World Series and they smashed that canal. We thought it was much, much later, and we said 1950.
Well, one team is much closer, and it is the much earlier team. 1914 is when the canal opened. And finally, we're almost done with this round. The population of Bogota minus the population of Barcelona.
We said 100,000.
And we said 75,000.
Ooh.
It's going to be way higher, I think.
So the population of Bogota is 7.181 million, and the population of Barcelona is 1.62 million.
Wow. We're only off by 6 million.
So the difference is 5.561 million. Yeah, and this is one of these cases. I think I also was a bit surprised when I looked this up where, oh, that's a big city.
All right. Hip Hip Bolay was falling behind a little bit after the first round, but they did quite well in that swing round. Roaring back to a total of 91, getting 8 out of the 10 correct in that last round. Mount Lushmore, though, not lagging behind by too much, 11 back at 80.
We just flashed the swing round there. That's a climbing term.
Oh, is it?
It's not when you take your butt out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like when you like join roofing material to like an abatement.
No, not that.
Oh.
All right, let's get the second round before Jeff keeps talking about construction.
Okay, back to everyone, or at least mine, my favorite topic, Piqué and Shakira. Piqué's sports and media investment group, Cosmos, partnered with the Davis Cup to transform the tournament. Held at the Caja Magica, which is a sports complex, in Madrid in 2019 for the first time since its revamping. Who won the tournament in the inaugural year of its new format? So who won the Davis Cup in 2019 in Madrid?
All right, we're locked in over here.
All right. So I think Davis Cup is golf. Does that sound right, Joel?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. 2019... Ryan Johnson was winning a bunch of golf tournaments.
And directing films.
Maybe it's the same guy. Maybe his name's not Ryan Johnson. Maybe I don't know anything about golf. Dustin Johnson is the golfer. That's what I was thinking of.
Johnson sounds fine to me.
Lucky Johnson?
Lucky Johnson. And it might actually be right. Yeah, we're gonna go with Dustin. DJ Dustin Johnson.
So I'm pretty sure the Davis Cup is tennis. And I am mixing up the top male players. I know there's Nadal, who I think has been mentioned before. And I can't think of the other guy's name, but it's the one who wears the headband and has the 90s haircut.
He's quite a joker.
Andre Agassi.
Like
John McEnroe.
John McEnroe, yeah. It's like
Djokovic.
Corey Matthews' brother on Boy Meets World, his hair with the middle part. Anyway, I think it's Nadal who wears the headband, but I can't remember, and that's the only one that came to my head. So we said Nadal.
The Davis Cup is a tennis competition. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk of golf, and given the word cup, maybe you were thinking Ryder Cup.
I was.
Which is a competition between countries. And the Davis Cup is basically the Ryder Cup of tennis. So it is a competition between countries. Unfortunately, that means neither team is correct. The country that won the Davis Cup in 2019 in Madrid, owned by the company of Piqué, who is Spanish, was Spain.
Okay. I want to let you know, too, that anytime you mention a male tennis, like a modern male tennis player, there's always just one guy in my head. It doesn't matter what name you say. It's just one look. And you just described it.
With the hair? Yeah, with the headband?
Corey Matthews' brother,
yeah.
Headband, white shorts.
Is that Nadal who I was thinking
No,
of?
you're
guy.
thinking
They're all
of-
the same guy.
You're thinking of Djokovic. Well, I don't think that question could have gone worse for all of us. Now that we look incredibly stupid, let's go to the next question.
Fantastic. Next question. Speaking of this Cosmos group that I was talking about, owned by Piqué, a part investor in the Cosmos group is Larry Ellison, who founded which company?
Oh, I know one.
All right.
It looks like Neil
Things
knows
are
it
looking
too,
up.
so we're locked in.
Do you know it for sports reasons, Matt?
I do. He owns I think the Warriors, which I believe play in the Oracle. Do you think that this is Oracle, Joel?
Sure.
We'll lock in with Oracle.
Confidence coming from Joel.
There's a lot of confidence. I actually know it because his daughter owns a film company that I enjoy, but I also said Oracle.
Really?
All right. Well, way to come back from the last question. You guys didn't know it's possible, but yes, the company is Oracle. All right. Next question. Shakira is fluent in 5 languages, according to the top languages by population and number of total native speakers. These languages rank 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 23rd in the world. So these are the 5 languages that Shakira speaks. What are they?
And we are locked in.
We discussed a few things, and we locked in with English, Spanish, Italian, Hindi, and Mandarin.
All right, we had a similar discussion. We definitely put in Italian for her heritage, English, and Spanish. We thought to go along with the love languages there, we said French, and we also went with Portuguese.
Okay, so I know I heard Italian in there, and I also heard Greek maybe in the conversation. The 23rd language in the world most spoken natively is Italian. You just really have Italy doing that. But beyond that, number 2 is Spanish. Number 3, English. And then we also have Arabic, Portuguese, and as I said, Italian.
Oh, Arabic. I didn't think
So
about
8
that.
points for us.
Yeah, her father's from Lebanon.
Right.
There we go.
And 6 for you?
Yep.
Okay, so this question is a bit simple and straightforward. Which 2 Greek letters are the equivalent, basically, in terms of sound, to the letters S and P in the English alphabet? So I'm looking for the Greek equivalent, in a sense, of S and P.
You lived that Greek life for a little while, Neil, didn't you?
For about a month, yeah.
Just to get the spanking.
Yeah, and here's your quick Neil story. For one, at that point I didn't drink, so I said I would only do any of their games if I could drink Pepsi and chug it, which did not help my stomach. And then I found out the only reason I was chosen for this fraternity is because they were disbanded because of a collegiate student dying on their grounds, and they needed 5 people to get their charter back. And I said, well, I don't want to be a part of this.
Did they all
anymore.
get straight A's?
They did not. They were not the brightest tools in the shed. So I left after about 3 weeks.
I just thought it was a dead man on campus situation.
I still have my photo from it, though, which was a nice free photo they gave me. So, and the last part of the story, which is relevant to this question, is they said you have to memorize the Greek letters and recite them in order at a presentation to be able to join our fraternity. I said,
and you didn't do that.
I quit Taekwondo because I didn't want to memorize the mantra, and I'm not going to memorize the Greek letters, and that's when I left.
Wow.
What could have been?
I'm actually a red belt in Taekwondo.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you guys locked in? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're locked in.
I don't know how high that is. I know black is the highest.
I was like 10 years old.
Joel, what do you think here? S probably Sigma, right? Does that sound right?
I mean, I don't know Greek. It all sounds Greek to me.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and again, what is it? Psi, PSI?
Yeah, Sigma, Psi. I think that's right, but I think Psi is also.
He's really into like high end fashion in
Gangnam
South
style.
Korea.
Yeah. But
And what is epsilon? Is that earlier? Is that
epsilon
like
is okay. It's beta, rho.
But what about
omega,
upsilon?
alpha?
So let's say sigma psi, maybe.
Sigma Psi. Okay. Locked in.
Sigma Psi.
That's our fraternity.
So I was trying to decide between Sigma and Psi for the S sound, but I know P is Psi and S is Sigma, so we said the same thing.
Okay, well, Sigma is, yes, the letter S sound equivalent. P, Psi, is not correct. Psi, unfortunately, is just a Korean rapper known for Gangnam Style. And Pi is the letter that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Speaking of Psy, I'm just kidding. Shakira loves the band The Police, who are famous for their song Roxanne. This is the name of the love interest in which play?
We're locked in.
Who doesn't like the Police? If you've got 2 ears and a heart.
You don't have to put
There's a really great Sting subplot in Only Murders in the Building.
There is, yeah.
It's delightful.
Great show.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, obviously. I didn't know that. Thank you, Joel.
I thought you were bringing up Only Murders in the Building because Steve Martin played Cyrano de Bergerac in Roxanne.
That's true.
I did not do that. Nope, accidental.
Yeah, we also locked in with the role Peter Dinklage is playing in an upcoming musical this holiday season, Cyrano de Bergerac.
There we go. That is correct. Cyrano de Bergerac. And I do like the Murders on the Building. That show. I know what you're talking about. I just can't see it.
A show about a
I like that
podcast?
reference.
No thanks.
I can't wait till we get to solve murders.
only murders in the podcast.
Exactly.
Ooh.
All right, how about a score recap here for us?
Yes, please.
All right, so I've got Mount Lushmore with a score of 106 currently, and Hip Hip Bolay 119.
Thank you, Daddy. I'm just trying to get a reaction on you guys. I don't know what I'm doing.
No
Title of
thanks.
your sex tape.
Bad.
Okay. Next question. Shakira is from Colombia, which is next to Argentina, which is named after the metal silver. What is the atomic or chemical symbol for the element whose name comes from the Greek words for water and silver?
And we will go ahead and lock in here.
Well, if we're looking for a single element that's silvery and watery, I would think it's mercury.
Mercury?
Yeah, and I think maybe that's
whatever that.
I don't think we need to know. Oh, we do need to know the symbol. I think mercury is it's Mg maybe.
Elements are not my thing.
Maybe if it's a hydro, maybe it's an H something. Maybe we go Hg. What I'm saying?
Much like Wells, I think you're onto something.
Yeah. I have.
I would go with that if I were you.
Oh,
HG.
I get it. That's a joke. I don't know. I think it's mercury, but I don't know what the symbol is. So we're gonna say Hg, I guess.
Sounds good to me. Yep, the silvery, watery one is mercury, and we went with Hg for the symbol.
Way to go,
That's
Matthew.
correct.
Wow.
And it's funny listening to Matt talk through it. I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, man.
It's exactly, yeah. So yes, mercury is a silvery, watery element, and Hg is its symbol. Okay, next question. Piqué was born in February. On February 24th, 1868, Andrew Johnson was the first president in the U.S. to be impeached. His successor, Ulysses S. Grant, fell victim to a Ponzi scheme after he left office and left him penniless. To survive, his close friend and famous American author encouraged Grant to write a memoir, and he was the first president to do this. Who was this close friend and famous American author?
And we are locked in.
I think this was actually the impetus for some of the presidential pension, because they didn't want to just see somebody go into squalor. So
What a shame.
I'd like to see one certain president go into squalor.
Oh,
but
Jimmy Carter, leave him alone.
not Jimmy Carter.
he grew up in squalor.
He doesn't know how to die.
Well, he'd always be able to build his own home. So
I mean,
he'll
if
be
anybody
fine.
could beat a brain tumor, it was going to be Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Bless him.
Yeah.
So, American authors.
All I could think of was Poe and Twain.
Ooh, those are both good.
Do you think he was really tight with Poe?
I want to see a Poe Grant memoir.
Yeah.
Poe. Well, he didn't say he helped write it, did he?
He ghost wrote it.
Ooh. He's like, you know what you should do, and then the lights change. He comes from around the corner, write a memoir.
He's also Vincent Price.
Poe was pretty penniless too.
Yeah.
I think he would have had to have been a ghostwriter.
So let's.
I would say one of those two.
Let's go Twain then. I like that.
Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain.
Yep, we too said Mark Twain.
That is correct. The answer is Mark Twain.
I also like
And
how
what's-
you hand signaled to me that we were going with Twain, but just by touching your mustache.
That's all it took.
Because nobody had facial hair in the 18th.
No.
Oh, I wish the mutton chop would come back
It
in
was
full force.
The big revolution of 1880 or whatever it was.
It's funny, actually. I think Ulysses S. Grant is quite interesting, and I learned a lot about him. This is a plug for your friends over at Misinformation.
Misinfo.
They did a podcast on him. It was quite entertaining. Okay, next question. Shakira did the Super Bowl halftime show in 2020 with J-Lo. And J-Lo's daughter made a cameo appearance during this halftime show. So J-Lo also has a son. And what is her son's name? And the son's name is part of the title of a movie and video game franchise whose first movie release was in 1979 and last in 2015.
And I believe Neil does know the child's name, so we will lock in.
I don't think we're going to get this anywhere. So
Mario was a Spanish name. I mean, his parents would both be Spanish, according to our...
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Somehow she is the mother of Saved by the Bell star, Mario Lopez.
Oh, no, that was Mario Anthony.
I think Mario's a good guess. We went with Max, though. We think maybe this is related to Mad Max, but not quite sure.
Or Max Payne.
Or Max Payne, but we think his name's Max.
His name is Max. Yep. So, although I think Frogger would have been a better name.
Frogger Lopez.
Yeah, no, and unfortunately she just went with Max. Okay, next question. So we know that Piqué was born in February, but did you also know that Shakira was born in February? Because she was. On February 24th, 2006, the world lost a prolific science fiction author, famous for works like Kindred, which was published in 1979. Who is she? Don't get her confused with an actress who shares her last name with a member of the British royal family.
We're just going to lock in with a guess on this one because we have no jumping off point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a clue as far as the royal family goes. I know that there are a couple women science fiction authors, Madeleine L'Engle and Ursula Le Guin.
Okay.
Those two come to mind, and neither of those sound French, not English.
Yeah.
So, but you could.
Madeleine L'Engle is interesting. 79 sounds about when A Wrinkle in Time was out or somewhere around there. We can lock in with that. You want to go with that?
Sure. That's the only two I can think of. So.
So we're locking in with one of the two we know, Madeleine L'Engle.
Yeah, we just didn't really have anywhere to go on this one, so we just guessed the last name Spencer.
Ooh,
well, yeah. The author is Octavia Butler. And I'll go forward. So I was thinking of the actress Octavia Spencer, Diana Spencer. That's sort of the workaround. So Piqué and Shakira met doing World Cup promotion for the 2010 event in South Africa. She's a wee bit older than he is and wasn't really sure that it was a wise idea to go for it, despite his really cute barbita. But what rum cocktail helped her to overcome her initial hesitation?
Do you just want to lock in with the Cuba Libre?
Does that something to do with a lion?
That's a rum and coke.
Oh, okay. All right.
Something to do with a lion. No.
Well, Libre means free, I believe.
Yeah.
And Cuba means
Cuba.
Ooh.
I believe. I could be mistaken.
Très bien. So there's also Sex on the Beach, and they were in South Africa.
Did they do it on the beach?
She
She said something about him being young or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think she's about 10 years older than him.
She is. I think maybe that's how they
go with that.
Let's go. We're gonna.
This podcast needs more sex. On the beach.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Not a lot of sex appeal in the studio.
We're gonna go Sex on the Beach.
Okay, so I apologize, and I don't know what to do about points here because maybe you guys want to give them to yourselves anyways, and I will allow you to have it. Shakira has a very famous song called Me Enamoré. and it's about her like meeting and falling in love with Piqué. And in the song, she talks about how they had 1 mojito, 2 mojitos, and then you know what happens after you have some mojitos.
Sex on the beach.
Points for us.
I
believe that 0 points for anyone.
Around. So 0 points all
0
around.
points,
What a great story.
And let's get the scores for the second round.
All right, going into the final, we've got Mount Lushmore with a score of 126. And in the lead, but not insurmountable, Hip Hip Bolay with 149.
You say we're in the lead, but I am not lead climbing yet. Just want to let everybody know.
Oh, another term.
I don't know how many more ways I can do this with enthusiasm, but I'm going to keep trying.
Probably just once more.
Yeah, I would imagine only one
Perfect.
more time.
What are the final round categories, Laura?
So we have arts, entertainment, literature, cartoons, and commonalities.
And all the wagers are locked in, so let's get the questions.
Okay, number 1 in arts. In which city is the largest opera house in Europe located? Okay, number 2. What is the name of the British actor / comedian nominated for 2 Oscars in 2020? Number 3. As mentioned, mojitos were the drink that brought Shakira and Piqué together. In the name of another cocktail made with rum is a country where this American author lived for almost 20 years. Number 4, and the category is cartoons. What is the main defining physical characteristic of Mike Wazowski?
Mike Wazowski.
Wazowski, yes. Cannot say it. And finally, number 5 in the category of commonalities is, what is the link of the first 4 questions? What is their commonality?
Sorry, I just happen to love that
PK
movie.
Shakira is probably the link, but let's go ahead and discuss these answers. And the answers are now in. Let's see if we can hold our slight lead into victory.
Okay, so question 1 was in the arts category. In which city is the largest opera house in Europe located?
All right, Neil had a good thought on this one for 20 points, as all of our questions will be. It's the country that Mozart is from, and I believe the same city, Vienna.
Ooh, that's a different guess than we had. We wagered 20. We thought this might be in France, and we thought maybe Paris.
If I had given you guys the name La Scala, would that have helped?
It would have helped us.
The answer is Milan.
Oh, Milan.
Ooh, Milan. Okay.
Number 2 in the category of entertainment. What is the name of the British actor-comedian nominated for 2 Oscars in the 2021 awards season? And I know this means very little given that everything's gotten switched up a bit, but the most recent Oscars, he was nominated.
Oh, he.
Damn.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah. So we
We have a
wagered
shot.
we wagered 20, and I thought maybe it was a trick because I believe Emerald Fennell is British, and she is the writer and director of Promising Young Woman, and I believe she won the Oscar for writing, but was also nominated for directing, so twice. So that's why we went with Emerald Fennell.
We wagered 20, and Joel had a good idea on this one. What did we say?
Well, we said Sacha Baron Cohen because he was nominated for Chicago 7. I don't know if he was nominated for anything else, but I thought maybe he might have been involved in the writing or something to do with what was the other movie?
The second Borat.
Borat subsequent movie
yeah.
film?
Yeah.
That's great guess.
Yeah, and that is the correct answer,
Yay.
Sacha Baron Cohen, for both the Trial of the Chicago 7 and for the second Borat film. Okay, number 3 in the category of literature. As mentioned, mojitos were the drink that brought Shakira and Piqué together. And the name of another cocktail made with rum is a country where this American author lived for almost 20 years. Who is this author?
All right, we went back to the Cuba Libre like we were talking about, and we thought maybe Hunter S. Thompson lived there.
We also took a trip south to Cuba, and we thought it was Hemingway for 25 points.
And so the answer that I have is Hemingway.
I should have said it too. I had it on my sheet. I just You sounded more convincing.
Why, Neil? You always have it on your sheet.
You sounded confident, so I was like, I'll just let you have it. I don't know.
I wasn't.
I was in the room when it happened, and I can attest. Not
He
confident.
just stayed
Not
silent.
confident.
Ken did not sound confident.
Okay. Next question. Number 4, cartoons. What is the main defining physical characteristic of Mike Wazowski?
All right. This better be right. For 20 points, we think it's the big eyeball.
Yeah, we wagered 30, and we think that he has big optometrist bills. We said big eye.
Okay, and I will give you both points. I will tell you the answer I have written down. It is one eye.
He's a cyclops, technically.
And finally, with commonalities, what is the commonality between all of these questions?
Well, with our answers, it was hard to get to the right fifth answer. We just said fairy tale.
Yeah,
20 points.
We wagered 30. Joel, did we have any idea on this one?
Well, it makes no sense now, but we said France.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, it didn't make sense then either. We were stretching.
I'm going to tell you guys we're really overthinking the commonalities. When all game long, I've been showing how great Shakira and Piqué are. And fairy tale might be a correct answer because their love is a fairy tale. I'm just kidding. Just kidding there. But these are actually all things that Piqué and Shakira share or have in common. So Milan is the name of one of their children. Sasha is the name of the other one of their children.
Okay.
Hemingway lived in Spain also for a long time.
They're both
for whom the bell
cyclopses.
tolls. Today's no, they both have one eye.
At least one eye. That is true.
Oh, I didn't realize they ended up together. What a happy ending. I had no idea they were married. I'm like super excited now that this is a happy ending.
I mean, you guys guessed fairy tale, so I mean, I figured you
Are
knew.
you saying they both only have one eye each, or you're saying at least?
I mean, if you spell the word Shakira and you spell the word PK.
Oh.
Well, you know
that's a
what's
groan.
not,
I'm
You know
sorry.
what's not a fairy tale is the end of this game. Jeff?
I think they both had an artificial eye.
Would have been pretty sweet.
One glass eye apiece.
Yeah, they call her the Colombian Columbo.
Candy Duncan of Colombia.
All right, as Ken feared, getting 4 out of 5 incorrect in
Yeah,
that
we know.
final round did hurt them, dropping their score from 149 all the way down
I still
to
want the enthusiasm, though.
89. So, hip hip bolay, I guess. But no, today's cream of the crop, Matt and Joel, Mount Lushmore, did an excellent job. Their score, 151.
All right, to the bars we go.
On balance, off balance. Doesn't matter. I'm better than you are.
Yay.
Great game, both of you. That was
Get some Cuba Libres.
what a fall at the end there, Ken. you know what it was? We didn't have a belay, and we fell.
It's true. We got too cocky.
It's important.
You got squid gamed.
We did get squid gamed. Let's start with Joel. Wonderful game there. You picked wisely, choosing Matt today for your partner, and you guys ended up being victorious. But any final words from you, and anyone you'd like to shout out to, anything like that?
Well, I want to thank you for inviting me on. I've been a long-time listener, and this has been a great honor to have appeared with you. And I've been on one other one, the one that your friend Neil's friend Kells is on, and I did terribly on that one. So this was an honor to play with you guys and to actually score well. The questions were great, and I just want to plug my friend's trivia company that I work for, which is RCM Trivia, and they can find it on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. And thank you very much.
Sure.
And we thank you for your appearance, Joel, and also for being a Patreon supporter and for the spanking that you gave us. So we appreciate all those things.
Metaphorical spanking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ken and I will soon be in New Jersey to go over Joel's knee. So thank you very much, Joel. And a very, very big thank you to Laura for writing this game. Just wonderful questions, had a really cool theme. I was super excited. It made my day that Shakira and Piqué are together now, and I didn't know that until the end. But thank you very much for all these questions. Anyone that you would like to thank? Any final words from you before we let you go?
Not really on my part. Just kind of a shout out. As I said, we just moved to a new place, and we're missing our friends back in Madrid who we did a lot of trivia with, and who I know also listen to this show. So if anyone in Madrid is listening, hi guys.
Well, thank you so much for all the work you put into the game and for listening to the show for so long and getting us many more Spanish listeners and hopefully now even more international listeners. And even though that you moved and you're looking for new friends, you always have friends here in Chicago. So always keep that in mind. But thank you very much for joining us. Joel and Laura, thank you very much. And for Ken, Matt, Jeff, my name is Neil, and that was Triviality.
Yeah, it's not about the 3-0 Chicago Bulls.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure you're excited about the 3-0 Bulls.
Yeah, by the time this airs and they're 3-17, I'll be less excited. But
It's funny. I'm a Braves fan, so let's see what
you're a
happens.
fan of the 2021 MLB champion Atlanta Braves, and we'll edit that if they're not.
Let's see when this comes out. Yeah.